Magic acts and deception and Charlie Kirk? Wait till we get into this. As I sit here and take in all of the news from every direction, all I see is deceivers, liars, corporate media, cover-ups, agenda, all pushing the same propaganda. It's time for a game changer, a visionary, an innovative person who changes the way that people think of the situations. It's time for Game Changer TV, telling it like it is. Get in the game. Just when you think this Charlie Kirk situation can't get any more crazy, it gets more crazy. Thanks for tuning in to Game Changer TV. I'm your host, Terri Lynn, and this is the channel where every day we're telling it like it is. Today, September 27th, 2025. And if you're watching on YouTube, thank you for tuning into Hard News TV. I'm your host, Terri Lynn, and the truth is like archaeology, and every day we're digging for it. Wait till we dig into this. Let's just jump in. Deception. The Bible says in the last days, evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. What is deception? Deception is the act of misleading or tricking someone by creating a false impression or belief. It involves deliberate actions or statements intended to make another person believe something that is not true. Now, we've talked about a hologram, we've talked about squibs, we've talked about a lot of stuff that's going on, things that don't seem right. Let's see this.
Counting or not counting gang violence?
Oh my God. Go, run. Whoa.
Over the last 10 years. Counting or not counting gang violence?
Didn't we see Charlie getting led away to the SUV?
Stop, folks.
Didn't we know about the plane that went off radar, it went dark, that flew down to Arizona right after that? Well, look at this. This is audio of the Utah dispatcher confirming that Charlie Kirk did not receive an autopsy. Wait till you hear this.
So, do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a field clip documenting that?
Sorry, 10-9?
Can you just add a step to the case documenting that there was no autopsy? Yeah,
287, I'll clear the hospital.
I need an officer at Timpanogos Hospital to come stage in the emergency room bay.
Jesse just told me that he just got on the phone and Charlie's wife is coming to Signature and they're bringing a car over here for her right now.
Charlie's wife is coming to land at Signature, you said?
Sir, and Jesse's going to go to Duncan right now and pick up a car for her.
Okay, I'm a little confused because that's what Corey just said. They said they were landing it.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Now, a funeral director is going to talk about this.
This is not good, you guys. I am throwing my funeral director flag after police dispatch audio came out and said there was no autopsy performed and that the doctor at the hospital signed the death certificate. I'm going to break this down for you as a funeral director, been in the industry for 15 years. I am not going to talk about specifics. I am not going to talk about conspiracies. I'm just going to give you the facts and then you can come to your own conclusion after that. All over the internet for 2 weeks now, I've been seeing people say, well, an autopsy was not needed because we saw what happened. That is totally contradictory to the law. Autopsies are required always in the case of homicide, suicide, car accidents, any unexpected, unattended deaths, any deaths of violence. They need this not just to pinpoint the cause of death, but also for legal proceedings. You would still need those facts from the medical examiner in the court of law. Every area is different, but it is pretty consistent across the board that...
Y'all think about what she just said. She said that the autopsy results, so when this Tyler Robinson guy would go to court, when he would have his trial, so they're going to have to off him or something, the records would have to show the autopsy for the state and the defendant's attorney to argue points over the autopsy. And now there's no autopsy? Let me just let this keep going.
These types of deaths 100% of the time get an autopsy. I have never, ever seen a case like this not receive an autopsy. If you are wondering about the portion where they say the doctor at the hospital provided the cause of death on the death certificate, again, that would not be the case in a situation like this. It would have been the medical examiner after the autopsy was completed. Let's add to that there are contradictory statements now. Some saying there was, some saying there wasn't. It's not for me to decide what's truthful. It's for you to get the facts. And I'm letting you know from a professional that no autopsy is completely abnormal, not done, unacceptable.
So I was like, okay, well, she sounds like she's got maybe a Wisconsin or Minnesota accent. So I went to go see what the rules are in Utah. In the state of Utah, if someone is murdered, is there always an autopsy? Yes, if a person is murdered in Utah, an autopsy will be performed by the medical examiner to determine the cause and manner of death. As murder falls under the category of violent death that requires an autopsy, medical examiners are mandated to conduct autopsies in cases involving violent suicide, accidental death, and other circumstances deemed suspicious or involving potential public health threats. Violent death, a homicide, a murder, is a form of violent death and necessitates an autopsy to establish the specifics of the death. And magicians, the magic bullet, you remember there was a magic bullet with John F. K? Well, now we have a magic bullet with Charlie Kirk that it didn't come out of his neck and it saved other people from getting killed because the bullet got stuck in his neck. Well, wouldn't you want to do an autopsy to retrieve the bullet to turn in for the Tyler Robinson's trial? See, this is not making sense. Trying to make people believe a lie. Now, let's go back to the crime scene that's not a crime scene, that they never even taped off, that they just started covering up. Let's hear this.
This is the courtyard where it all happened. It's now open to the public again. There's lots of people coming here, placing flowers, cards, things like that. The university is already making some changes. They're replacing the grass where Charlie Kirk was speaking with pavers. And there are several petitions online asking the school to make this into a permanent memorial for Charlie Kirk.
Now, I went and looked for a picture where the tent was. So Charlie would have been sitting like where that white spot is right there. Charlie would have been sitting about right there, because there's the bodyguard in the back with the black on. So Charlie would have been about right there. Right? So just keep that in mind. Do entertainers use trap doors? Now, we've talked about the squid, the holograms, we've talked about everything. We ain't talked about a trap door in a magic act. Yes, entertainers, particularly in musical theater, use trap doors on stages to create dramatic entrances and exits for performers and props. Now, did y'all catch it in this clip right here? Did y'all catch it when he was talking about them paving over everything? Look in the center. A trap door. A trap door on the concrete. That wasn't just built, so it had to be there the day before when Charlie Kirk got, So here's the picture that I showed y'all, that he would have been right there, okay? Then I did this picture where the straight line is off that pole, off the wall, straight down, so you would know where it is in relation. So on this side is a solid wall, and on this side is a solid wall. So there's a pole in the middle that doesn't have a wall on it. So it has to be right here. So I wanted to show in relation to where Charlie's tent was, where that trap door was. Okay, so there's the center pole right there. So when Charlie jumped down, when he fell over to his left, the trap door would have been to his left. Now, let's keep going. Now, did y'all catch this on Charlie being taken to the car? Okay, let me back up some. Look at his leg. First of all, we saw all the blood shooting out of his neck, right? There's no blood on those white tennis shoes. There's no blood on those white tennis shoes. So then, let me go back on this. So his head was leaning sideways. Blood would have been all over everything. Now watch. Y'all look at that leg. Does that look like a grown man's leg or a stick? I'm reading Charlie Kirk weighed around 240 pounds. This says he was 6'5". So I don't know. I have 4 sons. None of them have an ankle that thin. None. Not even my son that weighs 140 pounds. Does that look right? So what if Charlie really went into the trap door and they threw a mannequin already prepared, dressed? What if that's a mannequin leg? So I went and looked at this. This is a male mannequin, 6'1". Now look at the ankle. Don't that look kind of skinny? It's just food for thought. Why would they have set up his tent next to a trap door? And I bet it ain't there anymore. And there's Charlie's arm. This says Charlie Kirk, not one drop of blood on the way to the SUV. And y'all, you see those blue pants, the blue shirts and the tan pants, and they're all wearing the same shoes? That is some kind of special ops. I worked at a place that the security all wore stuff like that. And this guy used to work for somebody in the Fed that had his guys dressed like this. Okay. That looks like government employees with the matching shoes. But there's no blood on his shoes, and there's no blood on his arm. These are just things we need to look at and think about. Okay. Now, I'm sure everybody's already heard about this movie called Snake Eyes from 1998. Charlie Kirk's theories erupt over Nicolas Cage film Snake Eyes. And it's got the main character in it. The senator's name is Charles Kirkland. Instead of Charlie Kirk, it's Charlie Kirkland. Then the boxer in the movie, his name is Tyler the Executioner, just like Charlie Kirk's assassin, Tyler Robinson. Then he's shot in the neck. Okay, in the 1998 movie Snake Eyes, a character by the name of Charles Kirkland gets shot in the neck and is unalived on September 10th. On September 10th. He is shot in the neck, collapsing dramatically before the crowd. Is this Charlie Kirk? Oh, no, this is Charles Kirkland. He is shot in the neck, collapsing dramatically before the crowd. But wait, there's a twist. The assassination is fake. It is a ritualistic decoy designed to distract the masses while the true conspiracy operates elsewhere. The date of the film is not random. September 10th. The liminal day, the eve, the hinge moment in time. A staged death on September 10th functions as a symbolic prelude, a foreshadowing in the simulation framework Foreshadowing is code leakage. And y'all remember? Charlie means code. Both shot and killed on September 10th. Charles and Charlie Kirkland. Gunshot to the neck, collapsing dramatically in front of the crowd. The assassin is Tyler. I don't think y'all are even ready for the next reveal. At the end of the movie Snake Eyes, look at the number on the top of the police car. 47. Is this insane? And we were told there was no crime scene tape around it because no crime had been committed. We saw them taking down the projectors. We saw all of that. We didn't see crime tape going up. We saw the crime scene getting laid over with concrete that had a trap door over it that was right near where he was. And no crime scene tape. We didn't see police gathering in any information, gathering any evidence. We didn't see the police witnessing witnesses. And now, no autopsy.
So I did do the request. They emailed me back. They didn't. He did not go in for an autopsy. The death certificate was signed by the doctor at the hospital.
Oh, okay. Can you just do a clip documenting that?
That was a good police officer saying that they did not. Can you go ahead and document that? He wanted to make sure it was going to be in the record. So y'all just leave me your comments on this. Magic acts and deception. And what has resulted in this? People that are criticizing this situation are losing their jobs. Pete Hegseth is saying that people in the military that's talking negative about this, they could lose their position. J.D. Vance, the president, said if you hear somebody, questioning this or talking bad about it or making fun of this, report them to their employer. All that has happened resulted from this is two things. A false gospel is rising up with a man at the center of it that's not calling for holiness in the middle of this, and losing the right to free speech. For a man that looked like a mannequin getting taken out, that had a trap door next to him, that the police weren't involved, that an autopsy wasn't done, that is almost verbatim with this script from this movie from 1998. Donald Trump is a movie producer and director and writer and actor. Charlie Kirk's wife is a producer. So all the world's a stage. Guard your mind, y'all. And just decouple your emotions from this. All right? I love y'all. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye. If you appreciate the content that you find on this channel, would you prayerfully consider supporting the ministry?